Everyone has a life story to tell, but an incredible life story is shared and told differently.
So an incredible life story is not so much what we talk about in as far as grass to grace is concerned. Well, it also wouldn't be a nice or an incredible life story if it was the other way around, of grace to grass. But there could always be something in between, or a little bit even stretchy, from below grass to beyond grace. Tonight on the program, I have an interesting personality who's sharing with us an entrepreneurial life story that will possibly blow you away. The sense of discernment, where you're able to see an opportunity where most people wouldn't, or perhaps where others would never, and you pick on that, make it a pet subject, purpose around it, and build something that you see has the greatest potential you can ever imagine. Nalongo, Flavia Babirye.
Yes,
it's interesting, there's the Nalongo bit and then the Babirye, which means you're a twin, but welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Simon. I'm happy to be here.
Aside from that personality nomenclature of yours, Nalongo, Flavia Babirye.
Yes, please.
You are a twin.
Yes, I am.
And you have a set of twins.
Yes, please.
One or more than one?
I just have one so far.
One so far.
One so far, yes.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yes, please.
Welcome to the program. You are an entrepreneur, you are an innovator, you also prefer to describe yourself as a disruptor, but most importantly is you're bringing onto our market something that for the most part we didn't think actually would work as medicinal.
Yes.
That's oil therapy.
Yes.
But first tell us about you and the oil therapy business that you do.
Thank you so much once again. I am Flavia Ritah Babirye, Nalongo. And
where does it Nalongo comes first, like professor, doctor, or it can also come at the end, like how you say Simon Kasyate, PhD?
I think it can come at the end. It's the latest title that I have. I was Babirye before I became Nalongo. Who knew?
So you keep adding them at the back.
Yes, I had it at the back.
Wow.
However, whoever calls me Nalongo first, I still respond. So yes, I'm an entrepreneur, like you said. I'm employed. I have a full-time job. I also run. I have a family, a young family, like you know, because I'm an Nalongo. And then there's too much that is still going on in the background.
When you say you're employed, are you employed by something other than your business, or it's your business that's employing you?
I'm employed by something other than my business.
That's interesting. So, well, you'll be telling us more about that.
Yes.
So now your business, oil therapy.
Yes,
So that's why my biggest interest in finding you tell this incredible life story starts from, what's oil therapy?
So oil therapy is a company that I have run for the past 4 years, and we sell therapeutic essential oils. These essential oils carry with them a lot of properties. They're antimicrobial, they're antifungal, they're
Before you confuse me
antibacterial,
with all those
and all
beautiful
those things.
words, the oils some of us know is cooking oil. When you say essential oils, what exactly are we talking about, Flavia?
Essential oils are plant oils. These are natural oils that are extracted, yes, from plants through different methods. I won't go into that. But they're extracted the way you would get maybe the chamomile leaves. Out of the chamomile leaves, when they are put in through a process, they now produce the oil. When you see lavender, the lavender buds, they're squeezed and then oil is produced out of them. So yes, they're just plant oils.
Yeah, but I mean, for a liter of lavender oil, won't I have to clear 7 square miles?
Exactly.
Of
That
lavender
is,
buds?
Yes, that is the problem, but it is still sustainable in a way. So those are plant oils. They're extracted from flowers, they're extracted from barks of trees, they're extracted from roots, they're extracted from leaves. Some of them are even extracted from the fruits themselves.
Wow.
To make these oils. But these oils have been found to have those good properties that serve the body in different ways. They help with pain, they help with tension in muscles, they help to relieve anxiety, someone who's going through a hard time mentally. They help to calm down a system. And,
so they are not treatment per se, but they are preventative and or just therapeutic, like to give you a good feel.
Yes. They're mostly preventative because even at the time when I started selling these essential oils, I was advised to sell them during the COVID times. People were using these essential oils to, first of all, decongest. So it was just a means of helping people go through COVID and heal from COVID, part of the things they were using. But most importantly, people were being advised to use these oils to build immunity against the COVID.
And any other
all
disease
these.
that may come before.
Yes, yes.
So you say when we started, maybe you may wish to take us to the start. How, because you're not a medical doctor, are you?
No, I'm not.
Are you some kind of witch doctor then? No. So, but here you are dealing in, some kind of wellness product.
Yes.
When and how did this journey begin?
So this journey began in 2021.
That's COVID.
Yes, during COVID. During that time, I have a friend of mine who was disinfecting Entebbe Grade B Hospital. And he called me along someday and said, you know what, I'm going to Entebbe Hospital to disinfect. Do you mind joining me along? And I told him, no, it's okay, let's go there.
Let's go, yeah.
Yes. So luckily, he had a sticker, I think. And so we used to drive to Entebbe Grade B Hospital. And we'll get there and disinfect the different wards where the COVID patients were.
How courageous were you to go to that hospital, which, if my memory serves correct, was more like an epicenter collection center for especially returnees that were suspected not to be verified?
That's true.
Weren't you putting yourself in harm's way?
Of course, we were putting ourselves in harm's way. But the good thing is that we knew how to protect ourselves. So we had the protective gear, we had the masks, we had everything. So what he did was he got all the gear that we needed to have and had it with him in his car. And whenever we would get to Entebbe Hospital, the nurses would receive us and first dress us up before they would take us into the wards. So then we would go on and disinfect. While we were done with disinfecting, we used to disinfect different wards. And of course, they would refuse us to go to certain wards that were maybe very, especially the ICU unit where they were really, really badly off. But sometimes me and my friend would go there and we actually pray over the patients in there while we were disinfecting.
So you were disinfectors, like normal disinfectants?
Yes, we had normal disinfectants.
Sometimes you would go and do some bit of prayer disinfection as well.
Exactly. We needed to cover the people in prayer as well.
Okay, I love that.
So yes, we'd go in there, disinfect and pray. But after the entire process, the nurses would again come to us. They would take off our protective gear, make sure we disinfect ourselves as well, get us water, get us all the disinfectants that we needed to. And every time we were done with that, they would never, ever forget to tell us, please, when you get home, before you get into your house,
Disinfect.
Make sure you also disinfect. Take off all these clothes, leave them outside the house. Don't take them into your house. But also, make sure you steam. So because you've been in this kind of environment, you just don't know what you may have picked up, and you may pass it on. Yes, and you may pass it on. So before you interact with your people, take off the clothes and everything, but also make sure you steam as regularly as you can. And that's when I got to know about the oils, because we used to ask them, what do we use to disinfect, or what do we use to steam? Yes, and so they told us about the essential oils. They particularly advised us to use peppermint and eucalyptus.
Wow.
Yes. And as FET would have it.
For us, we're just boiling the leaves of eucalyptus trees, and oil. For you, you're using the oils from eucalyptus. Yes,
they were advising us to get those oils. As FET would have it, my friend who had called me to join him for the exercise of disinfecting Entebbe Grade B Hospital happens to be a researcher in plant oil. So when they mentioned them, he already had an idea about them. Yes, so he's the one who told me who took me deeper into the research about essential oils, told me about them, and then told me read more about it and see. And eventually, he told me you can do it as a business actually, because on the side, he was also disinfecting people's homes. Yes, he was going into people's homes and disinfecting them. He was also testing people for COVID and all those things. So he told me I have a lot of clients who I go to their homes to disinfect, and I tell them what the nurses used to tell us. Steam, 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 and then they ask for these oils.
And they don't know where to find them?
And they don't know where to find them.
Easy to find, yes.
Yes. So that's how he sold the idea to me and told me, please, I think this would be a good thing for you to also do to help so many people out there who are struggling with COVID, looking for a way of healing from it and building their immunity. So you can come on and sell the oils.
And you jumped onto it.
And I jumped right onto it.
But this was COVID, where there is possibly no chance that you're going to get a proper supply.
That's true.
A line. You're not going to get an easy way to penetrate the market and sell. You're possibly not going to access packaging. You also are new into this field. I mean, they're just telling you, okay, there's no place you can go and buy a liter of eucalyptus oil and then package it in small bottles. how dare you think of a business that is possibly capital intensive, that's possibly research incentive like that at a time like COVID?
Well, like I said, I think, like we talked earlier, there's God in all these things. Yes. So I happened to work for government and I had a sticker.
Wow.
So I could move. My colleague as well could move because his car was covered in COVID. It looked like an ambulance of sorts. So his car would move.
Would move even without a sticker.
Yes, without the sticker.
On its own, yes.
Yes, it was a moving stick on its own. So those two things helped us. And so I remember when we needed to get packaging, we drove to Matuga, picked the packaging. And then when we needed some things from NASA, the labels and all that kind of thing, still, because I work very close to NASA, so I was able to go to NASA and pick these things. So that helped me to start a business.
But let's get down to restarting this kind of business in the sense of, you've been told by a friend and you think it's a good business idea. It has to start from the point of sourcing these materials. How are you going to sell them? Are you going to buy them in bulk from somewhere and then retail and itemize them? Are you going to become a bulk supplier? What came to your mind? Just take us through that entrepreneurial mind, because that would be very important for us to possibly push the spotlight into how your thinking process does work.
Oh, so well, the first thing that came to mind was this is an opportunity. Now, first of all, Simon, I remember for a time I had prayed to God and said, God, I want a business to do. I don't know if this is good to say, but I happen to work for government, and sometimes we're not busy.
Forget about that. Even those who don't work for government and are extremely busy, sometimes the paycheck vis-a-vis the amount of time they put in and the responsibilities we have may sometimes require you to have a side gig, a small business, a small something that you do on top of your
everything
regular.
else. Yes.
So I believe that that's a good disposition to have, because do you now know anyone that just does one thing?
No, rarely. It's very hard to find them.
So you don't have to be apologetic.
Yes.
The only part is to say, we thought that government was so busy because all of us put our trust in government to Yambe, and you guys are not busy.
I hope my employer doesn't find this.
Our government doesn't really penalize you for not being busy. At least you are at work.
Yes, I was at work.
Your colleagues are never at work. Or even when they are, there's not much to show why they were there. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day.
That's true. So I felt like I was quite underutilized. Within me, I felt like there was too much that was not being put out. I felt like there was a hole. So before I joined government, I was working in a bank and we were busy.
Yes.
So the switch to government, where I was not busy, felt like there's a bit of me that is not being fulfilled within, and I needed to find something to fill it with.
Wow.
So through that time while I was working still, I kept praying to God, give me a business to do, give me a business to do. But I also particularly told God that I want a business where I can help people get better, feel better about themselves, become confident, and all these kind of things.
So in other words, you're looking at setting up a bar. I mean, when people walk into a bar,
some of us don't feel happy.
Feel happy, get confident, and start giving out jobs and contracts. And before we know it, boom, you are raking in huge amounts of money.
Yeah.
But Flav, sorry for the interruption, but time is always not an ally on our side now. Just take a short break. But when we return, it's now the prayer process, the incubation of the idea, business. And then for you to maybe also reconcile the fact that what you are seeing manifesting before you is in fact an answer to your prayer.
To my prayer. Yes, that's very true.
It's Incredible Life Stories with Simon Kasyate. We'll be right back. Flavia sharing her entrepreneurial story, a story of disruption, a story of being a go-getter, but on the bedrock of all this, a story of immense faith in God and also the disposition to do a business that sets her apart as an enabler for good living, well-being, and making people feel better about themselves. She'll be elucidating what better about yourself really means. We'll be right back.
Everyone has a life story to tell. But an incredible life story is shared and told differently.
Incredible Life Stories with Simon Kasyate. Now, to be regarded as an entrepreneur, you don't have to be on the Forbes 500 list for Africa, East Africa, or even just Uganda for that matter. No. You may not even appear anywhere on the Forbes list 500. You could be below that. But the fact that you're able to be transformational in picking up a business idea from places that no one would, and then nurture it into something that's on its feet, running. And like they say, Ugandan businesses hardly make it their fifth birthday. This one we're discussing is almost there. And Flavia, we want to say, looks like you still have another maybe, 50 years to go?
Yes, I do.
I love the confidence.
I do, definitely. My children will take it on even.
They had better.
They will.
They should know where the money that buys them from Celirac to
all the things, yes.
So Flavia, you pray to God, and now you begin to see a revelation in a business at a time when the world is in a lot of uncertainty.
Yes. Yes.
So take us through the incubation of this now fully.
So when that idea came on board, I happened to do my research. And like I said, he's now my business partner in this business. He had done research as well in plant oils, and he had also started a cosmetic business before. So he had some knowledge.
So he did have it, but he may not have had the business acumen or the ability to take risks like you.
Exactly.
I think sometimes ignorance is bliss. A child who's never drowned would easily walk into a swimming pool and they could gamble and get across.
Yes, that's true.
You was drowned before.
You will fear to get in there.
Fear a shower.
Exactly.
Coming down.
Exactly. So he had contacts already. He had contacts for where to get the packaging from.
Wow.
He had contacts for where to get the oils from. He knew some people who were already selling essential oils, so he introduced me to them and told me, Flavia, this is where you'll get your oils in bulk. We actually sat down with one of the suppliers, and he gave us a price list based on that relationship that he had with my business partner. So he took me around and took me to some gentlemen as well who trained me on how to mix the oils and how to...
Oh, wait a minute. So you wanted to be the all-stop center for your business, that you'll be the mixologist, you'll be the packaging expert, you'll be the marketing expert.
You know, when you're starting, that is how you start. You are everything.
Everything. Wow.
Then with time, you let it out. So anyway, my colleague took me, and these people took me through certain things. This is how you mix. This is where you get the oils in bulk. This is where we get packaging from. He took me all through that process. The only thing I remember doing for myself that I didn't have, or he told me handle that, was the NASA guy. So I happened to have a NASA person who was helping me print some things.
Okay.
So it was easy to connect. So day one...
Possibly could be the guy that printed your wedding cards or something.
No.
Then you
Oh,
go
yes,
back.
he's the one. He's the one.
We already guessed.
Exactly. He's the one. So we get from training, day one. Actually, we started this business in about 3 days.
Wow.
Simon, we started this business in about 3 days. He told me, Flavia, no, we're going to start. There's nothing you're going to wait for. Let's move. So day one, I remember he took me to the gentleman who trained me to mix the oils, and also told me there are some oils you can pick from him. Day one. Day two, he introduced me to the second supplier of essential oils. Told me, let's meet this guy. He's always there on a Tuesday. We went in on a Tuesday, met him, and he told me, this is where you will start getting your oils from at this price. We had an MOU of sorts. Day three is like we're driving to Matuga.
Pick packaging.
To pick packaging.
So you have to choose which one you want.
So you have to, yes. So we drove to Matuga, and we came back with 1,000 bottles. Packaging. We drove back. As we were driving back, he tells me, call your NASA guy.
Put labels.
To get labels. So as we're driving back to town, I remember we picked one bottle, and I ran to NASA, dropped it at his place, at the NASA guy's place, left him with a bottle, and then we drove home, dropped me home. So that was just in 3 days. The fourth day, I think, was when, now we had bought oil.
Fourth day you are mixing.
Yes, fourth day I was mixing.
Fifth day you are packaging and labeling.
Mixing and packaging one day. So the fourth day was mixing and packaging. I remember it was a weekend, Saturday, Sunday. He told me, when you're done with church, please make sure you create time and mix those things and put them out. So I remember I started on 1st February.
Wow.
So between 26th, because I remember he called me on 26th and said, Father, there's a business idea I have. Come to town, find me, and we talk about it. So 26th to first. First I was out. 1st February 2021.
Do you remember your first client?
Do I remember my first
Or you were
night?
your own guinea pig?
I must have been. My children must have been my guinea pigs.
Yes. Wow.
Yes, so in about a space of 4 days, 5 days, the business was out.
Was up and running.
Actually, 26th to 1st February 2021, the business was up.
Is there something about you, Flavia, that you make quick decisions on sometimes life-changing engagements? Like, would you pick up a lifelong partner just like that from a whim? Would you make a decision on what course to study that would impact your life forever in a short time because you're convinced? Are you the impulsive person that just picks up whatever comes their way? Or can we say that this came at a time when you had been through a long journey of deep thought and you are like, maybe this is it?
Yes, I think so. I'm not a person who quickly picks up on things. I'm not impulsive. I take time to think through things. But this friend of mine and colleague, and there's something about him that when he told me to do certain things, I would pick them up quickly.
Because of a certain long-standing trust that you've
Yes, that we've picked up with him. But also, maybe what I didn't mention were prayer partners at that time. So there's a lot of things that I had picked up from him and they had actually succeeded. But also it came at a time when I had asked God, please give me a business idea.
You haven't mentioned about some revelations that you may have had between the two of you.
Exactly.
This is what we saw.
Yes. Those were in there as well. But when he mentioned it, I quickly picked it up because I felt like it was not him, it was the Holy Spirit speaking.
Let's get down to the cost of doing business.
Yes.
Because many times that's where the rubber hits the road, and incredible ideas such as yours are never scaled up because you couldn't really have enough money. You're a poor government worker at that time. I don't know where you get your capital from. So how were you able, one, to get the quantities that were required around that time, and then your ability to penetrate the market? And I don't want to know, I really hope that this will not lead you into trouble with the tax person, because if you've been operating under the radar, URA now has you in full glare, an incredible lifestyle. So all those things, putting them together, how did you be? You now sold, right? Now formalizing and scaling.
Formalizing and scaling. So when I was starting out this business, and I remember I came on board saying that I don't see this product on the market. The person I was buying, one of my suppliers who was doing this product, was rather targeting a market that I didn't want to target. Which is the lower market. And then me, I wanted to target the high-end market because, first of all, I work in a corporate space. I knew that those would be my first clients.
Yes.
But also, I have an eye that is not the kind of eye that everyone has. I try to do things a bit differently, or very, very differently. I always want to veer off and see what are the possibilities of doing this thing this way and actually works.
So you want your oil therapy products to be vended in briefcases at the old taxi park or in bus parks where there are all these guys who keep vending. You use this to do. You want it to be found on shelves of top town pharmacies.
Exactly.
And at worst supermarkets.
Yes. That is. So when I started out like that, I knew that I wanted to build a premium brand, and so I set myself as that from the beginning. I remember my colleague telling me, you know what, this packaging is really nice, first use this. And I told him, no, I don't feel this packaging.
I need better.
And I remember in 2 weeks, I ordered for packaging, not even 2 weeks, I ordered for packaging from Kenya. So we had plastic bottles, I moved quickly to a glass bottle. And also the sales moved quickly. You know, that is the difference that it made for me. So when I started out having that idea, that prior knowledge that this is the kind of brand I want to build, these are the kind of people I want to target, this is how I want my product to be perceived amongst people.
Wow.
That pushed me a different one. I always said, I don't want to be like the rest of the people in the market. I want to do differently. Starting out was not really expensive, thankfully, because he had also gone through this kind of business. He had a cosmetics company. He tried to show me where to start from that wouldn't drain my pockets. I remember our budget for starters was just about 600,000 shillings. Yes.
Ugandan shillings.
Ugandan shillings.
Less than $1 million.
Less than $1 million.
And here we're talking about maybe double or even now triple digit.
Yes.
Million worth of account.
So he said, just start small, start with just a few oils. I remember we started with just about 3 oils: peppermint, eucalyptus, and lavender.
Wow.
Yes, we started with those 3. He said, just take these 3. Then get packaging. I remember because the packaging company in Matuga sells their products really cheaply. It was very easy. So by the time I remember counting that entire cost, it was about 630,000 shillings.
So one would imagine your initial packaging, you couldn't differentiate whether it is chili sauce or essential oil or lipstick.
Yes, so
then regularizing the business, to have it registered, to have it formalized and all that, because right now you are a legal entity that can be sued, can sue, but also is liable for taxes and other liabilities, or should we say responsibilities, like the NSF for your staff and the rest.
Yes, that's true.
Rolling that through.
So Our businesses are much alike like the owners. So as Flavia, I like to do things the straight way. So that didn't come as a hard thing for me to do. When I told my colleague that now I want to register the business, it's like, it's okay. If you feel like you're ready, please go ahead. So I remember we started in February. By about, I think, May, we had already booked a name at URSB. And then I got some challenges in there, so I registered the company in August. Those were personal challenges, not business challenges.
In other words, what you're trying to tell me is that nothing really goes in a straight line. There will be some challenges.
There will be some challenges, definitely.
Personal, business-wise, whatever it is, you face them, they could derail you.
Yes.
You see, why we're having this conversation, Flav, is not so much about your own incredible life story, but in you, we are seeing an embodiment of a young Ugandan entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is not one of those places that many young people want to venture in. They want the assurance of a paycheck at the end of the month.
Yes.
They want the assurance of comfort that I can walk in and spend half my time at work on social media, on my phone, and doing nothing, but still get paid fully. But for you as an entrepreneur, who is doing entrepreneurship on the back of your government job, and sorry, I'm giving you in, it's, you know that if you don't put in the time,
yes,
you don't pick up
I
the
will not.
project.
Yes, I will not. That one I know.
So, but now you are an employer as well. How are you able to balance the demands you put on your employers to ensure they give you value for the money that you paid and also value for the product that we, your clients, pay for?
So one thing that I have learned, and I thank God that I went through the corporate space before I did business, it is an opportunity that we don't see. And I always encourage my relatives or my friends that if you can get into a corporate space before you do a business, it will be an awesome opportunity. So one thing I learned when I was in the bank is that they used to train us a lot. So that is something that I've carried to my business.
On things you possibly never be or never do, but also the HR person
to help
in the
you
bank,
serve the customers better.
nothing. It's just the HR also ticking a box that, I took the team through training.
The bank I worked for was quite new in the market, and I think they came on with the aim of being the best customer service provider. So they used to do a lot of trainings in that. So now when I come onto my own business, I know that I want to set my brand differently and a premium kind of brand. So I also want to make sure that I train my people into the things that I need them to do and how to do them before I expect them to deliver. Because it will be very selfish of me to expect you to deliver something that I have not trained you to do. And I just assume that you know how to. So going through the corporate space taught me that training is important. It may be a cost to the business, but it is very important. So my people, my team, we usually do some trainings. They could be informal, they could be formal trainings, but I always give them that time to take them through what they need to know before I assess them at the end of the month or at the end of the period of probation. And so that has helped me have them deliver the way I want them to deliver. And then also I be able to know where the weakness is and be able to nip the bud before it.
So in other words, if I get you right, it's to say, we should never shy away from an opportunity to create our business.
Yes.
If we have been employed or we are underemployment, especially in a corporate setting, because the innate skills that you pick up on a daily as you do around with your business or get trained, if you transplanted them into your business, they could make a phenomenal change.
They do.
But then there are those who believe that, well, we see thriving businesses downtown that do not have anything in terms of corporate governance, have nothing to do with, compliance or anything, including standards. And yet, the business owners are making money. They are thriving, not just surviving. You are just merely surviving. Don't you want to thrive?
I want
So how do you then convince us to take the straight and narrow as opposed to the wide and comfortable?
Well, I think people who take the straight and narrow usually get far than the people who do the wider road. You'll get lost in there and all. You may make the money faster than I, who's taking the straight and narrow. But as Flavia, I'm not looking at making money for daily. And I'm looking at building a legacy.
Wow.
Yes, I'm looking at building a legacy. So it depends, like I said, when you're starting out a business, what are your goals? What are your aspirations for this business? And all that kind of thing. So me with a long-term goal, I know that there are certain things I have to go by the straight and narrow path. And of course, the money will come. If I'm building longer, The money is definitely going to come.
I love your confidence.
Yes.
So you're telling your friends, colleagues, the money will come.
The money will come.
Let's take a short break here on Incredible Life Stories with Simon Kasyate. When we return, we'll get to now understand who exactly Flavia is. We've understood the business she does. We've tried to understand the thinking behind her entrepreneurial spirit, her disruptive attitude, and everything in between. But what about her as an individual? Is there something about her personality traits that you and I may need to pick up if we must be business people with the acumen worth talking about? We'll be right back.
Everyone has a life story to tell, but an incredible life story is shared and told differently.
The embodiment of a young entrepreneur, a Gen Z perhaps. Are you a Gen Z, Flavia?
No, I'm not I am a millennial.
Well, you don't look a day older than a Gen Z, but we'll go with that. It's Incredible Life Stories with Simon Kasyate. On the program tonight, we have an incredible lady who ventured into a space of business that is normally for mixologists and other people that may be named anything between witch doctor and sangoma, but she's none of those. She is highly spiritual, but also makes data-driven decisions based on science and research. So oil therapy is not, you know, stuff they sell to you like how people sell snake oil, things that will transform your fortunes. But yes, here we are, the business. The person. Let's get down to the person. Who are you? Where were you born? Where were you born, Flavia?
Oh, yeah. So I am Flavia. I was born in Kampala. I was raised in Zana, Entebbe Road. That's where...
Maybe geographically I may need to correct you that Zana is not in Kampala. That's already...
Oh, it's in Wakiso. Yes, it is.
Kampala on that road stops in Stella.
Oh, really?
At that mosque.
Oh, yeah?
As you slope down to Namasuba.
That's something new I've learned
Geographically,
today.
that's where Kampala stops.
Thank you so much.
So, but anyway, it's all good. We see them in our villages when we are having, you know, events and say, people from Kampala, please line up.
Exactly.
You find your colleagues from Nigeria. Like, they say, excuse me, that's what you saw. So I can understand.
We are from Kampala. So yes, wow. I was born and raised here in Kampala.
Take us through your childhood, the best of your recollection. What kind of childhood was it?
Oof.
Or maybe just paint for us a picture of the family in which you were born. Are you first
yes.
born?
So I am the third born. I have a big brother, and then my twin brother comes before me. So those are two boys ahead of me. Then I have two sisters after me.
You are a fraternal twin with your brother?
Yes.
But you are Babirye?
Yes.
So how come? And yet you say he comes, so he's Waswa and you're Babirye?
He's Waswa.
And you're Babirye?
Yes, and I'm Babirye.
How is that possible?
My dad said, so I am a Musoga. Yes. And the name that I was supposed to be named was Kauda. But my dad didn't like the name, so he insisted, no, my daughter will be called Babirye.
So he broke a bit of...
Yeah, he also disrupted something in there. Yes.
So now we know where that comes from.
We know where that comes from.
Wow,
he said my daughter will be called Babirye nonetheless. So yes, I am a first-born daughter. And the memory I have of my childhood, you know what first-born daughters go through.
I mean, it's like you have to baby your older brother.
Exactly. I have to baby my older brothers. I have to baby my younger sisters. So I was you could think I was the firstborn. Yes, you could think I was the firstborn. I was the focal point. I was the one taking care of everyone else at home. I was the one doing this and that and that and that. I remember at a certain point, my mom stopped bringing in maids and said, "You're old enough. You can do these things."
Wow, I love that. What about the guy who made sure your name is changed to a better version of what he preferred? Did he, as fathers normally do to their daughters, pamper you to the extent of almost spoiling you?
Well, yes. My dad was not as tough as my mom. Actually, my mom was tougher, as usual. As the moms are usually the tougher ones. But my dad, really, yeah? For the boys, maybe.
My recollection, I think my dad was Supreme Court. Any case to him, there was no court of appeal.
But I think we also bend differently. I think if I have a son, I'll be more softer with a son than I will be with my daughters.
Yes.
And then the father will be more softer with the daughters than he will be with a son. So I think that. But my dad was my best friend. He was very good to us, all of us. But of course, as the firstborn daughter, I think we shared something special as well.
You speak about him in past days.
Yes, he passed on about 8 years ago.
Oh dear.
Yes. And so I remember that as I was growing up, my dad used to encourage me to do whatever I aspired to do. He had that silent belief in me, that confident, silent belief in me. Every time I would tell him, Daddy, I want to do this, he'll be like, you really think that's the best thing to do? I'm like, yes, Daddy, that's the best thing to do. He's like, okay, go on.
What were some of the things you aspired to be, if you recall?
If I recall, I remember.
Every morning you can wake up trying to be something else.
No, I don't remember having any of those childhood dreams. I don't remember. But I remember when I was going to campus, I told him I want to be a software engineer. Yes. And
for boys.
And he asked me, you sure that is what you want to do? I'm like, yes, Dad, this is what I want to do. In that, by the time the results came out and we were distributed, I was on government scholarship. But unfortunately, I missed the software engineering and I went for economics.
Wow.
So I am an economist by profession. Yes. But he's a person, one thing I picked up from him is that he always encouraged me to fly as I want to fly. Because he believed in my mind and how I thought about things. But also, every time we presented two different fronts, me and him, he told me, explain your side, convince me to take your side. Then he would also tell me his side, and then we'd come to a conclusion and say, okay, maybe let's do this, let's do this.
If on the balance of probability, which side normally won the day? I mean, if...
He would always give me the soft landing. He would give it to me,
so
but...
you knew how to compromise him.
Yes.
You now learned how to...
No, as a father, you just say, okay, my daughter, take what you want, but you know that this is the right thing to do. So yes, the memory that I recollect from childhood was I used to take care of my sisters. I used to take care of my brothers. It exhausted me so much, but it also matured me so much.
And quicker than you should.
Yes, so much. So I'm thankful for that when I remember that it took me, but I'm very, very grateful. So
now you're a mother, not just a simple mother, but a Nalongo.
Yes.
You have a government job. You have a thriving business. You have a pursuing education that you talked about. You're in Bible study. There's so much happening around you.
Yes.
The juggling of the balls in the air, how do you find it, especially on the backdrop of how you were raised, having to multitask?
Well, it is quite tasking, really, both physically, mentally, and all. I didn't mention to you, I have another business.
Hey?
Alongside oil therapy.
Wow.
So when I started oil therapy, I didn't have the packaging, like I told you earlier.
Yes, you're traveling to Matuga.
Yes, I wanted a unique kind of packaging, which then I found in Kenya. So when I brought in that packaging from Kenya, I got so many clients asking for oils, but I got also a big number of clients asking me, where do you get your packaging from? So I started another business. It's called Packaging Hub Uganda.
Wow.
And I've run these businesses concurrently for the past 4 years.
So your packaging business packages when you are also liquids or can also...
So my packaging
solids?
company will bring in packaging for people who make cosmetics in Uganda.
Only cosmetics?
Yes. Right now we are selling cosmetics, but we hope to expand. So yes, it caters to oil therapy and it caters to so many other businesses.
I know someone that makes bread and confectionery, so I thought maybe you also have packaging for that.
Not yet. We are mostly for cosmetic formulators in Uganda, and we give them the packaging. So yes, there's a lot that I'm juggling, and honestly, it is very stressful.
So when it is stressful to that extent, how then do you let your hair down, if at all? Do you ever relax?
Yes, I do relax. So I've learned, our time has taught me that there are certain things you can't have liberty for when you're growing a very young business. Say for the first year, the second year, the third year. But now at 4 years, I have some liberties to do certain things and take breaks and delegate and allow systems to flow. So over the years, we have built systems, we have grown a team, we have changed the modus operandi. Where it used to be Flavia wearing all the hats, now I have a manager.
Mixologist.
Yes, I have someone formulating.
You have someone doing...
I have someone doing digital, the digital management of our accounts. So it is something that time has also taught me that you may not have these in the beginning of your business, but with time they will come around and then you can let your hair down. Simon, I experienced a burnout in my first year of doing business. A very bad burnout. In that I wanted to close the shop, I wanted to close the businesses.
Now that's where the story should have started from. I think it's always important to start from the bad side and end up in the glory.
The glory days.
What burnt you out, wearing so many hats among other things, or many other things came in?
So what burnt me out were my businesses, I would say. That's the time I started oil therapy. 2 months down the road, I started Packaging Hub, Uganda. And then I'm still working. I had a full-time job still, so I would...
And then the twins came in.
No, the twins came much later.
Okay.
But at that time, my first daughter was she was just making 2 years.
Ooh,
So I was still breastfeeding her. And all then, I remember we had just gotten a new family home. So we had moved and all these things. So much was going on at that time. But I remember, when you just started business, it's like when us mothers, when we've just given birth, our children become everything to us. So it was with the businesses. It became everything. Like I canceled Saturdays and said, no, I'm going to be at home making products. Sundays, I canceled any program, said I'll be home making products. Monday comes, you get orders from clients. So I would pack the orders in the night and then go with them to work, drive them with me to work. Then I had a border guy who used to come to my office, pick them up, and then deliver to clients.
And for some, they wanted to see you.
Of course, by then we didn't have a shop.
Exactly.
So so we were but that constant being
Cycle.
on, yeah? Yes. So you're at work in the morning, but then there's a client making an order. So you have to attend to them and tell them, okay, I will deliver your thing tomorrow. At least I was very open about that, you know what, when you make your order today, you will receive it the next day. Then in the evening, you go home, you have to be mommy to your daughter. You are a wife, you have to be a wife.
Absolutely.
Then in the night, I remember I used to wake up in the night and pack some orders, make some products and stuff like that. Then in the morning, it is 6
And then
a.m.
the traditional 3 a.m. prayer, since you're very careful.
Exactly, that would find you probably packaging your things. And then in the morning, you have to prepare for work, go to work, then the cycle continues. So I remember in my first year, I got a burnout
And
so
that's when
bad.
the kid also picks up a flu. That's when the kid...
Yes, then by end of that year, I was pregnant with the twins as well. So it was a lot of things. I remember I wanted to close down business.
So how do you find the ability or the firepower beneath you to continue, even though there are systems that have been set up, but how do you find the firepower to continue? Is it so much because you have to make it to succeed? Or are you is it innate in you that what you start, you must accomplish it successfully?
That's a very good question. So what gives me the innate power within me to keep going is I go back to the fact that I prayed about this business. Deep within me, I feel and I know that this business is God-given. It is God-ordained for a particular purpose, which I'm also searching for, but I think that I have found already.
Which is?
So currently, beyond oil therapy, I'm also a stress and self-care coach.
Wow.
Yes, I am a stress and self-care coach. And all this comes from my experience. But it has showed me that...
Doesn't stress chip away from the sales of your business? Because some of your oils are supposed to be stress relievers. So if you cancel me out of stress, how will I buy your products?
That's a good way of looking at it. So stress care and self-care. The products that I sell, essential oils, are used for stress relieving, anxiety, people struggling with pain, people struggling with whatever issues they're getting from stress, insomnia, and all those kind of things. When I started selling these oils, I realized that me giving you an oil is not enough. I wanted to give you more. I wanted to keep in touch and know that what is the root cause of this issue that you're facing. When people come to me and tell me they don't sleep at night, I always get to the root issue.
You treat the symptom.
Yes.
But before you wanted to know the cause.
I wanted to know. I wanted to be able to treat.
I think that is the other one for doctors.
Well, I'm a certified aromatherapist.
Wow, see?
Yes.
The many things you're doing.
So I did a course. I did several courses in aromatherapy. And so I wanted to treat holistically.
Wow.
Get from the root cause. When you come to me and tell me you're struggling with pain, I'll ask you, where is the pain coming from? Did you maybe work out? Did you knock something? Are you stressed? Personally, when I'm stressed, my back pains me so much. My lower back. So I know that pain is more than just a physical. It's not just caused by something physical. That maybe
trauma. That's
something came and hit my back. No, but I know that when I'm stressed out, it goes to my back.
Wow.
So that is something that now I wanted to go beyond just selling your product to knowing what is the root cause. Let's deal with the root cause as much as we're dealing with a symptom. So that next time when you get back pain, personally, when I get back pain, I know I'm stressed out. I take myself through my counseling and get myself together and say, okay, Flavia, now your back is hurting. What is stressing you? can you do something about it? How are you going to do this? Then I can also apply the oils. Like I also apply the oils afterwards.
You've still skirted around my question that I asked earlier. How
Yes.
do you let your hair down? You told me you do, but you didn't tell me specifically what you do. Do you apply an oil or do you go out on holiday?
So yes, I do a lot of things. First of all, over the years, I've learned the things that interest me. So I always schedule them into my days
So you
and
actually
weeks.
have hobbies?
Yes, I do have hobbies.
What?
I love to dance, so I go for aerobics.
Uh-huh.
I do aerobics a lot. And then I love to fellowship. So I go for prayers and fellowship with people. And then I love to travel. So I often travel. Yes, I often
Oh,
travel.
that's very interesting. In all this, do you ever get angry?
Yes, I do.
What angers you?
I'm only but human.
We all are, but different things anger us. What makes you smile could make me angry.
Oh, yes, that's true. What makes me angry? Of late, I don't know.
You haven't
Actually,
been angry in a while.
yes, I haven't been angry in a while.
Because you stress relieve yourself.
Yes, I quickly get out of it. I quickly find a way out of it. Like, okay, could whatever Simon has done to me, should I let it affect me to that point of getting angry? Or should I just look at it and let it go? So I always put that,
Do things that just distract you.
yes.
Do you ever have a moment to read? And if so, what kind of literature do you normally attend to?
Honestly, I'm not a good reader. Yes, I don't really. I try to read. Most of the times when I read, I'm on the
see.
plane. Yes, that's the time I get to really concentrate.
And what are you
And
reading?
read.
The in-flight magazine, the Cosmopolitan magazine for
No.
fashion and all that, or a hard-nosed novel on fiction, love, God.
Yes,
Or anything.
I have Kindle, so I always read books about self-care, stress management, and maybe God. Yes, those are the things I like to read. But also I love to read some wellness books.
So you don't read, but when you read, that's what you like.
Those are the things I read
How
about.
do you? So you have Kindle. You're not like me.
Yes.
Who, this
No,
is how I
I-
love to read. I
No,
real paper, then flip the page. For you, you want to just scroll.
Yes, I love to use
Wow.
gadgets. So I usually do my Kindle on my phone or my tab and read some material to just keep me going
Keep
on
you
my.
in shape.
Yes.
What about a meal? If I were to host you, I normally ask that to everyone that sits on that chair. What should make it the menu of your favorite dish?
My favorite dish would be pork. I love honey glazed pork.
It had to have an essential oil.
Yes, feel free to add some rosemary oil in there. So yes, I love to have a pork meal, whichever way. Yes.
And how do you love to wash that down?
Ah.
Red wine? Tea? Okay, not milk tea, but
How do I love to wash? I'm not a fan of wine. I just take it as,
a courtesy.
yes, as
Something
company,
to feel out of place,
something. If I have company and someone suggests wine, I will do wine. But mostly I'm a juice person. I love natural juices. Yes, natural juices. That is what I love. Without sugar, without, yes.
You love to travel.
Yes, I do.
That would imply that maybe for the most part it's outside Uganda.
Yes.
Let's confine ourselves to this place called Uganda. Beautiful country by all
Yes,
accounts.
yes, yes.
If you were to travel to let your hair down, not for whatever purpose, but certainly for luxury,
Yes,
where in Uganda
in Uganda.
would you wish to travel, or have you traveled to that blew you away?
Well, I have not. The place that I would love to travel to in Uganda, I think, would be Lemala, Wild Waters.
Wild waters.
Yes, it's one place I would love to travel to and see
That's
the
not
beauty
so
that.
far. It's here in Kangulumira.
Yes.
I hope someone from Lemara is watching, or from the tourism board. It would be nice for you to take your essential oils there, so that the clients of Lemara, beyond just enjoying the beauty and serenity of the place,
Yes,
then they
that's
can
true.
have the.
Some essential oils soothing themselves as well.
And when that happens and you are contacted, please 10%, you bring it down.
Of course,
We facilitated this.
of course. Thank you so
Flavia,
much.
it's been a pleasure having you on the program.
Yeah.
But you don't leave before you answer one last question.
Yes.
It's a prophetic question from where you sit. I don't know whether you've consulted your God, but tell us, when you close your eyes, where do you see Oil Therapy Uganda Limited in the midterm, say 5 years, 10 years from today?
I see oil therapy as one of the biggest companies
Wow.
in Uganda. And I speak this not just prophetically. We recently received our investor license.
Wow.
So we hope to set up a factory and do amazing things in Uganda, together with Packaging Hub Uganda.
That could never have been a better wrap than the prophetic inspiration that you've left with us. Make no mistake, we'll hold you to that. Because incredible life stories, this is not where the story ends.
Yes.
This is where the story begins.
Yes.
We follow through to where it will blossom into something beyond our dreams and expectations.
Yeah.
For you catching us on the program, from wherever it is that you catch your podcast, or on YouTube, or better still with our media partners, UBC. It's been a pleasure having you on the program. And if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, I think it's just important that you get into the subscription bit so that you can get yourself ushered into a whole new world of incredible life stories that will definitely leave you not the same. For our partner, Epigogo by Monix, who are kind enough to allow us their beautiful, serene place as a location for our shooting, we can't be more grateful. Have a wonderful time. We meet same time, same place next Sunday with yet another incredible life story.
Everyone has a life story to tell, but an incredible life story is shared and told differently.